Hey guys, Marsingan here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to carry on with the Goku story Red Zone, jumping into stage 2, the planet Namek saga. I thought it'd be kind of interesting for this one to use a Super Bosses team. I mean, I say Super Bosses, obviously Janemba's right here, but he fits under Rose's 200% leader skill. I thought this would kind of be a fun one to do, because it's the first, you know, major arc against Frieza, who would be a big boss all throughout the series, and do it with the series of like bosses from the future. I did do the first stage with the heroes team. I did say in that video that I was just going to do the first 2 phases with the heroes team, but I figure we'd sort of stagger the heroes videos rather than doing literally all of them in the first day. Plus, I do think, looking at some of the stats of the bosses and stuff, I think the second stage, or this stage, might be a little bit tricky for the heroes team because of how long it is. So this stage has 5 phases. We start off with Raccoon, who isn't the craziest, not the hardest hitting. Nice super nullification from Rose. And can have every single status effect applied to him, so he's not really that bad. But yeah, it's 5 phases in total. And once we get to phase 4, which is going to be Final Form Frieza, he can lock you and disables dodge. So as we know from doing some of the more difficult events, like characters that can dodge, characters like Eos for the heroes team, really beneficial, especially when we get through to like the last phase. But the this fight having a stage that locks and disables dodge is kind of wild, right? Because it just means bringing any characters who rely on dodge is super risky, because if they get locked like in slot 1, they can't dodge, so you're potentially just dead. Now, of course, I realise I am saying this as we see here we have the Broly trio on the team, but the final boss, the full power Frieza, is Int. These guys are providing a lot of support. They can be very good on the team. We just kind of have to hope, like we managed to get, you know, the winning run versus Goku and Frieza with Eos on the team, we just have to hope we are able to get a decent setup with these guys and not just get absolutely destroyed by Frieza. But you never know. No Rainbow Orbs for Rose on this turn. That's not ideal, but obviously I want to keep both the Roses on rotation, especially for now. Have Cell Max here nice and early so he can get built up. Cell Max we kind of have to worry about a little bit as we get a bit further in, because the 4th phase, the lockings phase, is AGL Frieza. But if we do get into a situation where, like against AGL Frieza, he locks Cell Max in slot 1, I probably just will go ahead and use his active skill on that turn, get the target ability and give him like the crazy defense buff, because then he should be fine to survive any attacks that he then has to take on that turn. But obviously we'll have to see how that goes, because Cell Max, you know, very good, very dominant when he first came out, but the biggest issue he has now with these events, like in the later phases the boss is hitting as hard as they can, is that once his first few turns pass and he loses some of that damage reduction, obviously he starts taking some big damage from some of these bosses. And yeah, the fact that the 4th phase is going to have type advantage over him could certainly be a little bit awkward. But we got a bunch of different domains we can use on the team as well. I might, because obviously this one, as I say, being 5 phases is a little bit longer than some of the other events we've got in the game at the moment. I might start using, depending on which ones become available, getting some domains out nice and early. Like if we can get Broly transformed and then still be able to use the domain for somebody else later, like Rose or Zamasu, because of course if we can get Zamasu's domain up, especially when we get up to like the end of the event, then of course that means he's going to be invincible in slot 1, which of course will be very helpful. And then yeah, Janemba on the team, obviously GOAT slot 1 unit. He has the rage mode, which of course we can use to potentially cancel out a super from the enemy turn as well. That can also be really handy for like the turn against Frieza if the locking for that turn is really bad, because the rage mode for Janemba essentially gives you a do-over for that as well. So I mean the thing is, of course, once the rage mode ends, you get a new rotation and then it locks again, so it still could end up being super awkward. But obviously we've got characters like Rose with the damage reduction before he attacks, even though his start of turn defense isn't the best. If we've used the rage mode and then like essentially cancelled out the super for that turn, Rose should be able to tank normals in slot 1 in that situation like perfectly fine, right? So see how we go. But getting all the supers off here, Jason, Berta can't be stunned or sealed, but they can be attack and defense lowered. They do have a 5% chance to dodge. I don't think we've seen them dodge yet at all. And then they super for about 1.5 million. So they can potentially be doing some damage. But Rose got a decent amount of attacks off here, so he should tank this. Yeah, 59k, that's fine. Does anyone else have a Ki Blast super in this stage? No, that's unfortunate. Literally just Raccoon. And of course we did get to nullify it right at the start there, but he is the only one that has a Ki Blast super in this run. So it is what it is. Well, the orbs on this turn are really not very good, are they? So I guess we'll grab that for you. I want the rainbows for... Well, if I do that, he can't even super, so I need to do that. I should have, you know, I should have just done the, I should have just done the domain with Rose. Got one of those up here straight away, because then that would make some rainbow orb changing. That was probably the way to go. I mean, the Broly trio do now, fortunately, post EZA, they actually have dodge chance as part of their kit. And as we are attack lowering these guys a decent amount, as long as they don't super the Broly trio, they would be able to tank normals in slot 3. But Broly trio are always a risk because of that, right? Units that require a certain amount of orbs to do what they need to do, but they don't make them themselves. Obviously, they do make some orbs if you're on low HP, and if you're on very low HP, they make the entire field physical, which is really useful. But yeah, situations like this where you can't get a lot of orbs for them, bit awkward. Need Rose to actually get some extra supers off here and start doing some damage. But yeah, obviously the Broly trio providing support to the team, extra support depending on the orbs that you get. So yeah, not the craziest turn from Rose, unfortunately. I mean, the fact that they're still doing a 28 million attack stat on this turn is still pretty nice. We picked up 2 orbs with them, so not bad. Let me lower their attack. They need to dodge this, though. There you go. They eat the normal for double digits, that's fine, but dodge the super, okay? So we can't use the other Rose's domain yet. So let's do this, this, and then this. Just get some HP back, push the Dokkan gauge up a little bit. Janemba obviously going to be fine in slot 1 here. Janemba obviously going to be a beast against the final phase as well, with Full Power Freezer being in. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage. If we can save the Rage mode for then as well, then it means the Rage mode is potentially going to give us a good, like, big free damage turn, whilst also avoiding taking damage. Hey, they actually dodged. Outrageous, but good to see it happen, I guess. As long as they're not dodging the supers, that's the important thing. Oh, it's because Janemba's on the turn. I was about to say, why could we use the previous Rose's domain but not this one? And obviously it's because Janemba's on the turn, so we don't have a full super boss's turn. You have to have full super bosses or turn 6. So Broly's going to be able to transform fairly soon as well. The next phase is Ginyu, who's STR though, so Broly transforming straight away is not a huge priority. So I think we probably will use the other Rose's domain here now going into the next turn. But see how we get on. See what the rotation is looking like. Yeah, Broly in slot 3 gets a lot of attacks. My Broly is built more so for dodge though, and not crit. So in his base, he's not going to be critting a lot, unfortunately. I say, and then he gets a crit. So what are you up to now? 740k. Is it worth doing the transformation with Rose? I mean, I guess it does give him the it gives everybody the buff. What am I doing? Yeah, everyone's going to get 20%. The enemy's not going to get any buff because they're not super bosses. Obviously Janemba doesn't get a buff. I suppose it's one of those things, activating it earlier means it ends earlier, which is useful because then we can potentially transform Broly. So yeah, I think we will go ahead and do this. So, transform with Rose. Get Get the domain active. Give everybody the buff. That then gives Cellmax 800k. You've got 366% damage reduction. You would still take damage from a super in slot 1, but I'm not sure if Cellmax... I think Cellmax is fully built up now. Let's put Cellmax in slot 1. I mean, they supered like at the end of the last turn, so I don't think they can super this early on in the next turn anyway. Yeah, see, Cellmax wasn't fully built up. Those 2 hits both giving him extra defense, so probably a good idea to let him take those hits here. Then get the super off, take them out, and then we can move on to Ginyu. Because, yeah, like, this is a good turn if we can get the orbs for the Broly trio, which we should be able to. I mean, there's enough there. That's the thing, I don't want to float off Rosé, though. But does it make sense to just do this? Like, I feel like it probably does. Do that, and then we'll just float off the other Rosé next time, because he's going to lose his domain by the time he comes back anyway. And then, yeah, we get guaranteed dodges. Get the super in slot 1, which we dodge. Very good. And then, yeah, Janemba, obviously in slot 2, gets the extra attack chance. He's fully built up now, I think, anyway. So he's going to be doing some solid damage. Yeah, Broly trio ideally need to be getting some crits, because we've got type disadvantage here, but no crit. And there's all the dodging. And then what's Janemba going to be looking like on this turn? Obviously he's not getting any buff from the domain, but he's still dropping a 22 mil. So we take those. Obviously we've got a lot of physical units on this team, because the final boss is int. But that means if we're not critting, we're not doing a lot of damage to Ginyu. Of course, Broly's here to kind of offset that a little bit. Broly will be able to do some big damage to Ginyu. He did super in slot 1, so I think, depending on how many attacks there are in slot 1 on the next turn, it means he could be supering in slot 1 again. But yeah, Rosé. Need to get these crits off here. Base Rosé. Obviously, he's getting buffed by the domain, so he still is getting a decent little bit of extra juice here. Not getting the crits, though. On to 9.4. This is where we really want to be landing these crits, though, is on these supers, because his attack stats do start to get up there, but... Alright, so we're going to float off Rosé. There's only one attack in slot 1. Do I take the risk that he's not going to super, or if he does, my Broly dodges? I think I will. Probably shouldn't, but I'm going to. So we'll do that. Grab all of those for you. Getting super close to the Dokkan attack here, so we really want to take out... we really want to take out Ginyu this turn, or be able to get through the next turn without doing the Dokkan attack if possible, because it's always disappointing when you have to use a Dokkan attack on a phase where you've basically almost killed the enemy already. But Broly has the potential to get some attacks off here, and obviously he does have type advantage. Cell Max is going to do big damage, and then of course Transformed Rosé does have the decent attack potential as well. So I'm hoping that the team locks in here and we just finish off Ginyu. And then we can, depending on the locking, because of course Frieza locks, but depending on the locking, we can get a nice big active skill, Dokkan attack turn. But yeah, Cell Max coming in with the 32 mil is a good start. 20 on the additional. Yeah, come on, Cell Max. It's all down to Rosé getting crits now, because he's going to get a fair few attacks off, but if he's not critting, he's not going to be doing the kind of damage that we need him to do. So let's see how we go. We've got big bad bosses. That's why I put him, like, obviously having him next to Cell Max. Get big bad bosses. Get a crit. Any of these additionals. I think that's one of his additionals that is like the 10% chance to be a super. 10 or 15. It's always hard to know the order of how these go. But yeah, we're all good. Yeah, even a normal here finishes him off. Normal with a crit. Alright, so what is the locking going to look like? That is the question. And is the domain up here? No. So, you're locked in the middle and obviously can't dodge. Is this the turn? Shall I just rage mode here? Because we could potentially prevent a super. That's the scariest thing, right? As if it's like the Broly trio was going to take a super. So, I think we do. But then, of course, it just depends. I don't know what's going to happen afterwards in terms of the rotation. But yeah, let's rage mode here. Get our orbs. I mean, I could set up orbs ready for the next turn, but I suppose it doesn't really matter because the Broly trio can't dodge anyway. So trying to set up 7 orbs for them is kind of pointless. But yeah, Janemba going to do some damage here. Ideally, he does super, because obviously if he doesn't super in the turn, that's going to be really awkward. Is this the slot 2? Okay, he didn't super, so he wasn't going to have supered the Broly trio. Would Zamasu survive? He has a little bit of damage reduction, and he does have type advantage, but... Oh, bruh, he didn't super. Are you serious? Well, that's awkward. The best laid plans, eh? Alright, well, Janemba's now locked in slot 1, so at least we can do this. But definitely not what we wanted for that turn, for sure. Man, that's really awkward. Okay, well, I guess I still want to get as many orbs as possible for them. How do we get the extra defense? Tech or int. So, yeah, we want to probably just grab all those tech orbs for them. So, I guess then we'll do this. And then we'll do this. We don't get the Dokkan attack now either. Bro, I can't believe all of those attacks and he didn't super. I mean, Janemba only takes 95k from that. What's Frieza's normals doing? 650. Are the Broly trio going to have enough? I mean, they've got big bad bosses active, because still funny that they have big bad bosses, right? I mean, we've got an okay amount of HP. So I guess as long as they're not taking like 300k from the normals, then we should be alright. But can't rule it out, I guess. At least we're all still being buffed by the domain, apart from Janemba, of course. Masu fully built up now. Yeah, the defense, their attack stats not as high because we got the tech orbs for the extra defense. I should have checked their start of turn defense. But yeah, as long as they're not taking 300k, then we're all good. The additional super, they obviously do raise defense on both their supers as well. So hopefully we're looking good here. Yeah, the third super helps a huge amount, to be fair. But his cooldown is 10. So if he supered in slot 1, he can't super for the rest of the turn anyway. And then depending how many attacks there are on the turn, I think there is 10 though, which means he could still super in slot 1 here. Who's getting locked? This is the big thing for this turn. You. How do we play this then? Is this time to use the Cell Max active skill? I really wanted to save it because we're going to get the Dokkan attack here as well, so we basically do like win here. The problem is we don't really have a slot 1 unit for this turn. So also we got to remember, doesn't Broly's domain buff extreme, which means it also buffs Frieza. Yeah. Maybe I do just use Rosé's domain then and put him in slot 1. Save Broly. Question is still, of course, then, do we still use the active skill for Cell Max or not? Also, Rosé is not a good character for getting the Dokkan attack with, because his initial super doesn't really do any damage. Alright, well, I'm going to do this. Regardless of whether we use Selmax's active skill or not, I'm definitely going to do this, because if Selmax is locked there, we can't use him in slot 1 anyway. So we'll do that. Get a bit of an orb change here, so we can do, yeah, 4 rainbow orbs for you. Then we're getting some AGL orbs for you. The biggest problem is if he supers in slot 1, he does 1.8 million damage. Selmax. I almost said Cell Black. Goku Black has 270k defense, 66% damage reduction. So that 66% damage reduction is only dropping that super down to like 600k. So then he would still take like 350, maybe even 400. And we don't have that much HP. I mean, we will probably heal to full when we pick up the STR orbs for Cell Max here. But I feel like we probably need to use the active... Oh man, it's so tough. I think I need to use the active skill here with him. We'll see what happens. Watch him not super in slot 1 now. But go ahead and do that. Obviously, it doesn't do a lot of damage. But then it puts Cell Max up to 9.7 million defense. So he can't take damage from anything on this turn. And then obviously we get the full heal. Okay, so no super in slot 1. Then we get the Dokkan attack, which obviously isn't going to do crazy damage, but it is what it is. We'll see what we get here. Can't believe that Janemba Rage Mode, we didn't get supered on that turn. That's wild. But yeah, Dokkan attack with physical Rose, not ideal. But of course, still should be able to get a decent bit of damage out in this turn. No one else can take damage because every attack will be directed at Cell Max, and he's got like 10 million defense. So it's not like we have to worry about dying this turn or anything. But ideally, we want to try and finish off this phase, like this turn. So I think we should be perfectly fine. With Broly's attacks and then Cell Max still being able to attack in slot 3, we should be good. Broly getting the stacks as well. Broly might not get to transform at all, but it is what it is. Well, I only got a couple of attacks, but yeah, Cell Max. What's he going to be looking like here on this turn? There's the super. So what's that? The super would have been on Broly. So obviously, had the turn played out and I hadn't used the active skill, Broly would have got supered there and died. I'm not sure what his defense is after only doing 2 supers, but pretty sure he's dead meat. And then, yeah, we finish him off with Cell Max. So here we are, the final phase. Kind of scary for Zamasu, not going to lie. But I kind of want to keep him on rotation so we can get the domain for him potentially. And also, there's more attacks in slot 3, so I'm kind of more scared of putting him in slot 3. So we'll do this, and then do this. I really need, like, the best case scenario here is Frieza super attacks like Janemba now that we've attacked. Although he greatly raises attack for 1 turn on super, which then means all of his normals are going to do more damage. Yeah, I have a horrible feeling that Zamasu is going to get slapped up here. Oh yeah, he crits on his super as well. I forgot about that. It's a guaranteed crit on his super attack. So I have a horrible feeling that Zamasu is cooked. Oh, 71k. That's actually considerably better than I thought. Okay. Now next turn, if we can get the orbs, we get the guaranteed dodge with the Broly trio as well as some potential big damage. His cooldown is 12, which he does attack 12 times in a turn though, so that doesn't really mean much. And he super attacked very early in the turn, so it means within his first, what, 3 or 4 attacks of the next turn, he is able to super again. So yeah, Rose. I mean, we're doing some decent damage. He's got 130 million HP. So if we really go ham in the next turn, we could actually potentially kill him in the next turn. If Rose's domain... No, did we just use Rose's domain on the last turn? We did, yeah, so it's not going to run out. I was going to say, because if we transform Broly next turn, pretty sure that, like, guarantees the W. But... Oh, see, look at all those attacks in the middle. Oh, this is such a big turn for, like, actually being able to get the things here, though. So, let's do this. Get the full heal. They can do some big damage on this turn. Typical, of course, the rainbow orbs. Absolutely shocking for Rose. So we'll do that. And then we'll do that. It means that Broly gets a lot of attacks off in slot 3, which means he's going to have really good, hopefully have good post-super defense. Good enough to tank normals, at least. And then, yeah, 36 mil. This is where we need, like, Broly Trio needs to, like, crit, and then we need one of those, like, triple super turns again. That would be nice. 20 mil. Okay, 23. Yeah, if Rose, because it is the transformed Rose. So Rose getting the extra attacks. He's got Big Bad Bosses active with these guys. He's got, like, Super Saiyan active with Broly. This is where we need to see... You know, I've always been a physical Rose defender. This is where we need to see one of those turns where he actually does, like... 5 supers in total or something, and we get up to the like 18 or 20 plus million numbers, because then we will finish off Frieza. I think even if we don't finish him off, Rose will tank normals, but I just don't know if he will live a super attack. If only full power Frieza super was a... Although I suppose at this point it doesn't matter, right? Because in the transformed state he can't nullify Ki Blast supers anyway. Oh yeah, he really did not. He did not lock in. I don't think Broly can actually kill him. And he hasn't supered, which means he's going to super Broly. Well. Yeah, Broly can't do enough damage here. Oh man, this is where hopefully my full dodge build Broly comes in clutch. Because he can't do enough. Getting all the normals off. I mean, like, he'll tank normals, but... Yeah, Frieza supers for 2.1 million damage and crits. So... Oh, he dodged a normal. He didn't super. Oh. We know Janemba lives the super, right? No way he doesn't. So Janemba into Cell Max. That's got to be GG. This is turn 13. The video is almost 30 minutes long. He still hasn't supered again. Damn. Then Janemba with the 20.8. Yeah, I think this has got to be GG, right? If Janemba doesn't kill him, Janemba post super. Okay, Janemba with the crit. Whew. There you go. That was spicy. This stage is going to be tough with the Heroes team. I can tell that straight off the bat here. But yeah, that was Super Bosses versus Stage 2 Planet Namek Saga. That one was tough, considering how long it is. And then, yeah, 4th phase, the Frieza, Final Form Frieza, having locking and dodge disabling, and is supering for like 1.8 million. He also greatly raises attack on super, by the way. So, yeah, that's pretty wild. So that's Stage 2 Namek Saga beaten with a Super Bosses team. We get our mission done for beating it for the first time. And then, yeah, Stage 3 is the only one with a special mission, which is tournament participants. So I'll go ahead and do that just straight off the bat for that run. And that will be the next video. So let me know how you guys got on with Stage 2. What team did you use? Did you come in and steamroll it with one of the big bad teams like Buu Saga or something? Or did you use a more fun, gimmicky team? Whether you used items or not, let me know how you got on with the stage down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.